Be me. Worked at Pizza Hut a few years ago. Worked as a quote-unquote customer service representative, aka phone answering kitchen bitch. One Monday night, we're extremely slow. Boss sent a delivery driver home, and I have delivery training, so I'm taking out the orders that I get over the phone. Get a call at about 9:50, 10 minutes before we close. Answer. Thanks for calling Pizza Hut. My name is Anon. Would you like to hear our specials, or are you ready to order? Dude cuts me off mid-sentence. Muffled voice, and slight speech impediment. Are any of your drivers females? He asks. I reply, not at this current time. Can I take your order? He asks for 1 package of breadsticks with extra marinara. Tell him it'll be delivered in 15 minutes. Before I get a chance to hang up, he says, send a good-looking driver, and they'll get a hefty tip. I say, sir, that is extremely creepy and not necessary. Hear him and what sounds like another person in the background laugh. Make the breadsticks. Get in car, start driving to the address he gave me. After a 5-minute trip to the outskirts of town, I arrive at the location. It's an empty lot with a thick tree line behind it, and a trailer about a quarter mile down the road. I stop next to the lot, and I don't see anything or anyone. Suddenly, the back door of the car opens. Someone's trying to get in. Then my passenger door begins to open. They're trying to break into my car. Speed off as fast as possible. See someone lying on the road where my back door was being opened. Hear 2 gunshots fired off. Call cops and tell boss. Apparently, they were armed rapists. Scariest fucking night of my life. Be 5th grade me. Was the weird kid. Had supernatural great luck at predicting the future. Fancied myself a psychic. Was very dramatic and cringy about it. Had this cringy act where I told people who didn't ask shit about my dreams. I dreamt that someone here gets really sick today. Later that evening, someone does barf in class. Surprisingly good at it, like 3/4 accuracy rate. Get a following, which I realized later in life was just people who came to gawk at my cringiness. One night, I get a really violent dream. Adult man gets out of bed, wife is sleeping, gets knife from kitchen, turns off every light in house. Goes to kid's room, stabs one sleeping son in neck, then stabs the other one in the neck. Returns to bedroom where wife is still sleeping, slices her neck too. Gets in the bathtub, slices his neck. The dream wakes me up. It's 4 a.m. That morning in school, I don't talk about my dreams. Never do so after that. No one asks shit. A few days later, principal comes to class with the guidance counselor alongside. Tells class that one of the kids from the class hasn't been coming because he and his brother died. Best friend of the kid asks how they died. Counselor only answers in their sleep. Get a gut feeling that I already know what happened. I do end up finding out the truth later on in high school. Googled the dead kid's name. Murder-suicide. Father kills 2 children and wife, and then himself. The only sources don't mention any weapon or anything relating to the tub. Still do get predictions in my dreams, but nothing on that scale. Me, girl, about 5 years old. Really hot night and can't sleep. Dangle my long hair over the top edge of the bed to get coolness on my face and neck. Start feeling a light tugging on my hair. Think it's my imagination, like when I feel spiders. Tugging doesn't go away, so decide to lift my head to bring hair back onto pillow. Doing so, my hair is pulled back with such force that my head snaps back to the pillow. I scream, my neck is hurting, my scalp is burning, and I'm scared beyond belief. I try pulling my head forward to free myself. Pull lets go, but I feel hair has been yanked from my head, painfully. I jump out of bed and look behind the bed. To my horror, there really was something there. Somehow, I was still in disbelief after all of that. A short creature, like a small boy, but a man, with no features, only a swirl, as if features once deform, but can't pause into place. It was dark, but my eyes were pretty well adjusted after being awake so long. I'm still screaming, just staring at this thing, laughing at me, with his fist up with what I guess were strands of my hair in it. Boy thing snaps his head around the door, but I don't. I'm just staring and screaming at it. My dad flicks the light on, and I look up at him. Look back. Boy thing is gone, with some of my hair. I'm still screaming. To this day, I make sure that my hair, or any part of me, is nowhere close to the edge of the bed whenever I go to sleep. Be me, 11 years old, watching TV at night with parents and brother. Went to take a piss. Have to cross a corridor with a door leading to a computer room. Easily scared at that age, so I was walking carefully. Reach the middle of the corridor and take a quick peek at the computer room. That face when I see a garden gnome behind a chair. I freeze for some seconds. Gnome doesn't move. He's just staring at me. Don't know why, but decide to keep walking and reach the bathroom. Take a piss while eyeing the door in case the gnome comes. Finish with it and start walking back to the living room. Hear a noise coming from the computer room. I start running and tell my parents that I had seen a goblin. Yeah, I said goblin instead of gnome. They look for him and see nothing. Start having nightmares flooded with goblins. Yeah, goblins again.
Told the story before, but here you. Moved into an apartment. It's late, like 3 a.m. I'm up doing whatever. Hear the handle on my front door jiggle like someone's trying to open it. The fuck? Grab a baseball bat and look through the peephole. Middle-aged guy with a suitcase next to him. He tries to fit a key into the door, but it won't work. He knocks. I don't say anything, just watch him. He knocks again. Honey, I'm sorry. Let me in. I messed up. I know it. Come on, it's cold out. Please? Cold. It's the middle of summer. He's wearing a heavy winter coat, scarf, gloves, the whole deal. Can't quite see his face because he's holding onto his hat onto his head like it's cold and windy out. Please, honey, it's so damn cold out. Let me in. He sounds drunk. I yell through the door that he has the wrong apartment and I'm about to call the police. Then he grabs the suitcase and shuffles away. Fucking drunk. A few weeks later, apartment building has a little barbecue for the residents. Chilling and talking with my neighbors. Tell them about my run-in with the drunk guy. One dude seems pretty freaked out by it. Tells me to hold on and brings an old lady by. Tells me to tell the story to the old lady. She's tearing up. Did I say something bad? She leaves and comes back with photo frame. A picture of her and her late husband. It looks like the guy I saw outside. I never saw his face, but the hat he was wearing in the picture is the exact same hat the drunk guy was wearing. She and her husband used to live in my apartment like 30 years ago. Has since moved to a different apartment in the building. He used to travel a lot for work. One winter night on his way back from a trip, he stopped at a local bar, got drunk, and decided to walk home. He never made it. They found him dead the next day. Must have passed out in the cold and froze to death. Please, honey, it's so damn cold out. What the fuck would have happened if I opened up my door?
Mong and on here. I thought this was a paranormal board, but most of your stories about camping and strange creatures. I'll share my personal paranormal stories as a Hmong guy. Be Hmong. Happened when I was 10. Spent the summer of 2001 with my relatives, uncles, aunts, first cousins, and grandma, from my father's side. Multi-generational home in Rhode Island. 3-story triplex.jpg. First floor lived my grandfather. My real grandfather died from the Vietnam War, so his brother took his place and raised my uncles and grandma. He has multiple wives of his own. He lives with his first wife and oldest son, and his wife and kids. Second story lives my grandma and 2 of her sons, uncles, their wives, and kids. Third floor lives a strange son of Grandpa and his son. Many crazy and weird things happened when I was there. Story 1. For background into Hmong culture, spiritually, we are divided by Christians and shamanism. Family was Christian, but Grandpa would hop between faiths, whatever suits best for him given his situation. One day, as me and my first cousins played upstairs in the second floor, we know our Grandpa invited a shaman into the residence to perform a ritual. Shaman does jingles, look it up on YouTube, and we can hear it from upstairs. Before ritual, Uncle locked the door that connected the stairway entry to second floor and tells kids to not open the door. Kids do what kids do, which is play and have fun. Then, we heard footsteps running up the stairs and frantically trying to open our door. Remember what our uncle said. Entity then frantically runs down the stairs to open front door. Stuck that JPEG. Very loudly runs back and forth, up and down the stairs repeatedly. Shaman jingles were getting louder and louder. Kids were all scared. Then, immediately, the jingle stopped, and the loud running from upstairs to downstairs also stopped. Never asked Uncle what happened, but my guess was anyone's guess. End of story. Story number 2. Be my sister. Rebellious teenager and would always run away from home. This time, she ran away for 2 months and haven't returned. Father asked Shaman to come and do the jingles for my sister. Every week, Shaman would come and jingle. Then, suddenly one day out of the blue, sister came back home. I asked her why she came back. She told me it was because she saw a tiger. What the fuck, that JPEG? How? She said she was sleeping on her friend's living room couch and woke up in the morning while everyone was still asleep and saw a tiger on the top of the stairs. Sister was scared as fuck and couldn't move or make a sound, and couldn't let go from looking at the tiger. Tiger stares at her back as it walked down the stairs and into the living room. As the tiger was shifting through the living room, the tiger spoke to her, and in Hmong, it said, "Go home." Then, the tiger leaped through a wall and disappeared. Holy shit, the shaman thing worked. Sister ran away again a week later.
I'm a diagnosed schizophrenic, and the one voice in my head told me it was leaving, and I've heard nothing since. 2014. Perform ritual I saw an ex. Get results. Feel like something possessed me. Voice was completely sentient and had its own thoughts and feelings. Could feel my body moving against my will. Benevolent being that I bonded with. Was fun for 2 weeks. Couldn't sleep that entire time. Became exhausted. Exhaustion led to a breakdown. Parents took me to the hospital. Stay in a mental hospital for a week. Get out early because I lied that the medication is working. Get home and immediately stop taking the meds. Still can't sleep. The feeling of being watched from inside my own head is too much to bear. Fall into deep depression. Develop anxiety from depression. Beg the voice to leave. It actually, genuinely wants to stay and help me get better. I pretty stay the same. It's been a month since I've been back from the hospital and been off meds. One night lying on the floor of my room, the voice tells me something in a somber tone. I'm leaving. Really? Yes. Be nice to your dog. Well, okay, whatever. Next morning it's gone. Completely gone. I don't hear or feel anything. Get better in less than a week. 6 years later, and I've never heard or felt anything abnormal, and live a completely normal life. To me, it was maybe too coincidental, but I'm not really sure. Or maybe my schizo brain took pity on me and fixed itself.
Be me, about 6 years ago. On my way home from the movies. Bad storm that night, rainy and windy as fuck. Swerve to avoid a fallen tree branch. Just barely clip it with the rear left tire. Tire blows. Pull over and turn on the hazard lights. Get out to inspect damage. Raining so hard it feels like I'm at a water park, under one of those huge dump buckets. Open the trunk. My face when the spare is flat. Thanks a whole fucking lot, Dad. .jpg. No cell phone cause live in redneck ass area with no reception. See a house with a couple lights on, about an eighth of a mile down the road, and start walking. House looks old as Abe Lincoln, but not too creepy cause, as I said, that area was redneck as hell, and most houses are old as shit. Knock on door, and a little old lady answers. Tell her about the car trouble and ask to use the phone. She points me to the kitchen. Pick up the phone and call for a tow. Hang up and then receive the best hot chocolate of my life from the little old lady. See the tow truck drive past the house towards the car about half an hour later. Thank the old lady and say goodbye. Then walk down the road to my car. Car gets hooked up and tow truck guy drives me and my crippled car home. Get the tire and spare replaced first thing next morning. Decide to go back and thank the old lady again. My face went, where the fuck did the house go? Sure, I'm in the right spot. Nothing but an old stone chimney there. No walls, no foundation, no wood. Nothing but a damn chimney. And one of those historic landmark signs. Evidently, the house that was in the spot was an old bed and breakfast for travelers. According to the landmark sign, it burnt down in 1927. The B&B's owner, a little old lady by the name of Mabel, was trapped inside and burned to death. Thank you, Mabel. I wish there were more people like you.
I don't know if this will sound creepy to you, but terrified me for some reason. Once I saw a square in my office when I was at work. I don't know the right name for my job in English, but I'm a personal chef at a company. I also do things on the side for them when there's nothing for me to do. That day I was working on an app for the company's employees to use. Just 20 minutes working on Android Studio. Start feeling weird. Kinda how your body feels when you're in a place with very loud music, like a metal concert or something. This goes on for at least 10 minutes. I think I may be tired. Decide to stand up and walk around the office. I stand up and see this weird thing. It was a gray square thing, small, about 30 centimeters tall. Its texture looked like a tarp. The thing was perfectly square. Not a cube, a square. It had a shadow too. I look at it for a moment, and for some reason I start shaking. I feel like I need to run away from this thing. Then it just slides into the corner of the room and disappears, going through a brick wall. It looked like it was clipping through it. Never seen or heard anything like that before or since. Only told a couple of friends.
Be me, 8 to 9 years ago. Be into recreational diving. My friend Dan and I take a boat out onto the ocean with our girlfriends. Plan to test out some new gear / equipment that we'd purchased. On a scale of 1 to 10 on the nice day out scale, it's fucking 30 out of 10. Nice clear skies, shining sun. Dan and I get our suits on, get tanks, and prepare to go down below into the ocean. Our girlfriends stay topside on the boat. We descend, basically start off by dicking around, and I make a joke about finding pirate treasure or something. We're exploring well below the surface, but there's still light, mostly getting a sight of the sea life. Schools upon schools of fish. Not gonna lie, shit was pretty cash. But that suddenly changes when all the fish begin dispersing frantically. They're noping right the fuck out. We start to think, oh shit, a big ass shark is nearby. Dan and I get a brief glimpse of a shadow above us. This fucking thing is no fucking shark. It's more cylindrical, fast. It swam right above us. Want to freak the fuck out, but can't, as that would be potentially dangerous. We look above us to see if we could get a better view. Don't entirely have to, because this thing noticed us. Imagine your traditional Chinese dragon. Now, add fins and flippers in place of arms. Has reptile-esque facial features. All in all, Dan and I are at a loss. This is a real-life sea monster. It eyes us for a few seconds, then snaps its jaws at us, like kind of warning us before it swims off in another direction. Dan and I use this as an opportunity to swim back up to the surface. We get back on the boat, begin swearing and screaming and freaking the ever-living fuck out. The girls had seen some sort of dark outline sometime prior to our sighting. We nope the fuck out of that particular area, get back to the marina, and swear to never tell anyone what happened. Still dived, still do so in the ocean waters. But man, that entire day fucked me right up. Go to India in my late teens for quote-unquote soul-searching exercise. Go on these kind of excursions with a bunch of others. End up in some shitty village. See crowd of people gathered around someone. Lots of these charlatans about. Clearly been brought here to fleece us out of rupees. Talk to guide. So, what's his trick? What does he do? Key elephant memory. Never forget anything. Start getting goaded into asking him something. All attention is now on me, and I don't like it. Panic. What did you have for breakfast on this day 25 years ago? Eggs. Everyone applauds like he's just started flying around on a magic carpet. I'm much less impressed. Literally impossible for him to prove his claim, and for me to disprove it. Demand to ask him something else. Nope, only one question. Get ushered away. Total fucking scam. Come back home. Get girlfriend a couple of years later. She mentions wanting to visit India one day. Tell her how it's all one big con. Tell her about my experience. Come up with simple solution to dab on this hoaxer. Tell her my plan. She agrees it'll work. We go back to India about 6 or 7 years after I'd been myself. Hope guy hasn't died because he was old when I was there in my late teens. Take excursion to village. Guide doesn't remember me at all. See crowd of people gathered around old man. Contain excitement. Talk to guide. So, what's his trick? What does he do? He elephant memory. Never forget anything. Tells me to ask him a question. Now, I encourage people to gather around. The hunter has literally become the hunted. Don't even need to think about what I'm going to ask. He makes eye contact with me, and I ask him a simple question. How? Doesn't even blink or take a breath. Scrambled. Do a 360 and walk away in silence. 2009. Just graduated high school. Going camping with friends to celebrate. Camping in an abandoned church house, that is. Church itself is spooky, but basically an empty building. Is a very small formerly Baptist church, which has a reputation around town for being haunted. Typical fare, graffiti, pentagrams, and etc. The church house was where it's at. Old 2-story wooden house built in the 20s connected to the church. Overlooks old graveyard. Ultimate spoop setting to drop acid. 4 of us, all retarded, all very high on acid. Wandering around the house with candles. We had flashlights in our pockets, but candles are spookier. It's hitting hard. I'm seeing spirals and fluctuations in the dark. I see a figure. Is it an illusion? No, it's too real. Anyone who has done acid knows that it's not like in the movies. Your perception changes, but you don't see like dragons and full-on hallucinations. Figure walks up to me. It's a black girl who looks my age. She's wearing a dirty nightgown kind of thing. Maybe just a really big men's dress shirt, I don't know. Titties jiggling under the thin fabric. Shit's cash. Stutter out a, "Hey." Totally confused, tripping balls. She pulls out one titty. Think, that's weird. Just one, but okay. She pinches her nip. It starts making a sound like when you pinch the end of a balloon while the air is coming out. I can fucking feel the breeze of air escaping her titty. Her body deflates and falls on the floor. What the fuck? Am weirdly not affected. Probably the drugs. Regroup with friends. Don't mention it. Go back and look in the morning. There's a huge pile of hair on the ground where the woman deflated. Never do acid again.